Welcome back, everybody, to episode 42 of Taking Control. Taking Control is, of course, our weekly web series here at One SEO, where we talk about all things IT and digital marketing. I'm Anthony Kane, one of the SEO strategists here at One SEO, also a co-host of Taking Control. I'm usually joined by our CEO, Lance Bachman, who is not here today. He's off with a lot of our clients today, so unfortunately he can't be here. But I am joined by our PR specialist, Rachel Lawler, who has frequented Marketing Matters in the past.
Yeah, I'm super excited to finally be able to sit at the Taking Control desk.
And Rachel has no voice from partying hard this weekend.
Sorority formals.
Okay. So actually, it's good that we have Rachel on because, as usual, I like to plug that One SEO is hiring, and Rachel can probably speak to it a little bit more than me. But as Lance and I have said in the past, you know, we're hiring pretty aggressively right now across the board. So for IT and digital marketing, pretty much all of our positions can be found at oneseo.com/career. But yeah, we are hiring pretty rapidly right now.
Yeah, and as Anthony said, even if you're not sure if maybe you have the prereqs for one of the positions, I would definitely recommend you going on the website, checking it out, also visiting our social media. I think you can get a really good idea of the culture here, our trainings here, everything we do. Right on our social. So we're very transparent with what happens here. Our clients, they have lots to say about our company and how awesome we are. Shameless plug. But I definitely recommend you oneseo.com/careers. We do really great things here, and as Anthony said, it's really just the beginning. So with all the expanding and the rapid growth we're doing, we want the best, the brightest, and as Lance says, those kick-ass people.
Absolutely. So again, that's oneseo.com/careers to check out some of our open positions. Also, before we kick things off with this week's whiteboard session, I want to let everybody know that after a lot of feedback, a lot of discussion on our end, Taking Control can actually be found in podcast form now. So feel free to look us up, just Taking Control on wherever you listen to podcasts. So SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Store, Stitcher, whatever your preference is, our podcast can be found there. So
Taking Control Unplugged. I love the name.
Taking Control Unplugged. That's right. That's the
cool
audio. So yeah, check us out if you're driving and you can't actually watch our show at that given moment.
I know my voice sounds so good to listen to right now, so I would definitely recommend you do that.
Yes, this week's episode will be a great podcast listen. So without further ado, though, we have a great whiteboard session this week brought by one of our social media strategists, Britt Rawcliffe. So Britt, please take it away.
Thanks, Anthony. Hey, everyone. Britt at One SEO, Senior Social Media Strategist. Today we're going to talk about Instagram Stories. So have you noticed that your photos get less engagement, less likes, things like that? It might be because Instagram is no longer in chronological order. However, Instagram Stories still are. You can tell that there's an Instagram story that has just been posted by the nice pink ring, which you can then tap through and see all of them. So one of the cool features with Instagram Stories is polls. When you go to up here to actually make an Instagram story, you can create a poll. This is really good for product prototypes if you want to help your audience choose a color, things like that, or if you just want to choose the outfit you want to wear, things like that. Another really cool feature with Instagram Stories is GIFs. It can add some life to an otherwise kind of drab photo. If you don't have a video, it turns it into a video and makes it a little bit more exciting. Another really good feature with Instagram is live videos. So if someone is hosting an Instagram live video, you'll see their pink ring will also have live next to it. And this is really good for engagement too. Lots of people join these videos. They're really fun. You can actually also tag up with another Instagrammer and host a live chat together. What fun is that? So another great thing with the story is story ads. So unlike a regular Instagram ad, the story ad will appear between your friends' Instagram stories. So as you tap through them, you'll get an ad or two. It's a really great way to advertise. You've probably seen like L'Oreal, Maybelline makeup, things like that. A lot of great ad space opportunity there. And another great thing is the swiping up. So when you're in a Instagram story, you can actually swipe up to visit a website. So this is really cool because Instagram doesn't actually allow you to put links in any of your posts. The only place you can actually put a link is in your profile. So by swiping up and allowing people to go to the website, you can say check out my product, check out my service, watch this webinar, things like that. So that's all kind of the cool things that Instagram stories can do for you. And I'm gonna kick it over to Christine. Thank you.
Thanks, Britt. I'm Christine and I'm a Client Relations Manager, and today we're going to be talking about reporting. It is very important to understand your return on investment, so the most important thing that we report to our clients is leads, whether that is call leads, contact form leads, or foot traffic into your store. When looking at reporting and looking in Google Analytics, we're able to see a path a user has taken in order to make a conversion. This is called an assistant conversion, and that can be when a user goes on your Facebook page and then clicks a PPC ad and then types your website in directly. It's important to understand that all these aspects of marketing can result in your return on investment. Another thing that we look at in reporting is to make sure that your website has a good user experience. Having a good user experience allows a customer to easily be able to navigate through the website, to fill out a contact form, or to call. These are just some of the things that you can look at when reporting, but there's so much more based on what's important to you and your business. That's all for me. Now over to you, Zach.
Thank you, Christine. This week we'll be talking about what happens after you get hit with an attack, whether it's a ransomware attack or a virus on your computer. Some of the companies that we have talked to have gotten hit with an attack, and fortunately some were able to recover their data. But once you recover the data, what's the next step? You want to find the root cause to the issue, but many people don't do it because their IT is just a friend helping out, or a family member, or maybe they have no IT department at all. What you want to do after you get hit with an attack is consult an IT company and find out what the root cause was so that you can help make sure that it doesn't happen again. We'll see you next week. Have a great day.
Thanks, Zach, for bringing us this week's Technologically Speaking. Always good stuff. So, Rachel, this is the meat and potatoes of the show for the news segment, which is Digital Buzz. This is where every week we get into some topics, some news stories from the week before, covering all things IT and digital marketing. Last week, we had some really, really interesting topics with our guest, BJ Berge. This week, Rachel and I are going to dive into a few topics that happened over the last 7 days. So, jumping right into it, Rachel, I believe you and I have talked about voice before in the past.
Oh yeah, and you all know how I feel about voice search and AI. It like shakes me to my core.
Rachel gets shook about it.
Shook. It's insane.
An article this week, though, or something that happened this week, is that Google and Target, we all know that they partnered together on what they call Google Express, which is sort of Google's shopping platform. And they are working together to bring the very first voice-activated coupons, at least as far as Google Voice goes. We've seen in the past with Amazon Alexa offering certain discounts to people who order with their voice, especially around Black Friday and the holidays, things like that. So I guess that would sort of be like the first actual coupon with voice search. But this is sort of the first one with Google, which is why it's so big. And it's no surprise that Google and Target are partnering up because they do a lot together, I feel like, with Express. But either way, it was $15 off if you order something through Google Express with your voice.
Lots to say about this one. It's Target. Who doesn't love to shop at Target? Literally, like all those memes online that it's like, I go in for paper towels, I leave with like makeup, food, shoes, whatever it may be. Like this is, I feel like, the perfect store to be able to do this because I don't even have a home and I want a home just for the voice search home, just for the 15% off, because you can do a lot of damage with 15% off at Target. You know that, I know that, everybody knows it.
The meme is you don't go into Target with a list of things you need to get.
Yeah, Target tells you.
You go into Target and Target tells you what to get.
And you all know that is like so true for me. So that's one, is like Target and Google, they're really smart, I think, of making this e-commerce, not a franchise, but like this brand, one of the first people to do it because I think this is going to be so successful. I also just think Target's marketing in general is really good because they're capitalizing off the Target run. And, Target tells you what you need. So I really think this is going to be successful, and I hope to see like a successful return here. Because even when you're using your Amazon and things, like we talked about Black Friday, I need paper towels, or I need this. Think of how easy that'll be for Target, because you go to Target for literally everything under the sun, plus shoes.
Yeah, plus shoes. I think.
Shoes.
So I also think that you kind of have to look at like why they'd be offering a coupon to the people that order with their voice, and that's just that these companies, Google, Amazon, everybody is putting so much stock. They're investing so much into the future of voice search and into
Absolutely.
the hope that more and more people decide to order with their voice, because they know that if the future becomes what you just said, you're laying around and you order things with your voice from your couch, you order paper towels or whatever it might be, that people would just be buying things more, I think, in general, if that's sort of the reality. Now, we're not there yet. The number of people who actually buy things with their voice is still relatively low in comparison to everything else. But I think that by enticing people to order with your voice, I mean, if I'm at home...
I think really that's the kicker. You're enticing people from Target.
Right.
When, like, if you're telling me, like, I can get 20% off Adidas or, like, sneakers or a brand that, like, I could give or take.
Right.
No, but if you're telling me from Target, clearly Target's #1 fan, but like you can get anything under the sun. Like when school comes around, where did you go for your school supplies? You went to Target. Like uniforms, everything. It's going to be so smart because like when like kids say they need things, like you do it with your voice. Everyone has a list anyway. So I think Google was really smart to, I just think, capitalize off of Target's already strong brand.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're sitting at home and like in front of your computer and you're on Target.com and you're about to order something, you might actually stop and order it with through your Google Assistant just because of the bonuses that come with it. So I think sort of getting people in the mindset of ordering with their voice is sort of the play here. But interesting stuff, and more from Target and Google, I'm sure, later on down the road.
I love Target.
Shifting gears to another thing that Rachel loves, Instagram.
Oh, so true.
So Instagram, as you guys know, like stories on Instagram is really starting to take off. I think that we're really seeing the pivot from Snapchat. A lot of people are posting on Instagram stories a lot more now. So obviously there's room for advertisement on stories.
And we all knew it was like a matter of time before Instagram stories started to create promoted posts.
So as you're going through, like you'll see 2 friend stories, and then you might catch a story from like Toyota or something like that. The reason why this is also interesting is Google is kind of really putting a lot of stock into this as well, because they're rolling out these full screen story ads. They'll actually take, if you have a sponsored post just normally, like how it would show up in the newsfeed, you have an advertisement there. They'll help you convert that into a story so that when people are viewing their stories, your ad can show up. Pretty interesting move. I think that the play here is a lot to do with video.
1,000%.
If you have that 15-second block in the story, I think video is going to speak a little bit louder than just a still image, especially if you're an advertiser and you only have a few seconds to capture their attention.
And then think of going a step further, how many more people you can reach, because, if you're like scrolling through, like you're just going to scroll unless you see a picture you like, you're not going to stop. This gives you another chance to put that creative, innovative content in front of, the user.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I can't, I just want to hammer home like how the growth of stories has become. Like even just like on my own like Instagram, I've seen, the list of people that have an active story has just become so long, where in the beginning it was like not really there. I mean, it's really not there on Facebook right now. I guess that's my comparison to how Instagram when it first started.
Yeah,
because nobody really uses
sense.
Facebook stories, I feel like. But yeah, Instagram stories is really growing. So you've got people that probably just open Instagram and just run through a bunch of stories and then close it before they even really scroll down the feed. So it's really important to kind of be involved with the story aspect. And now that you can have full size ads right there within the story, I think that's pretty massive.
Yeah, and Instagram does even a step forward, which I'm sure you all know, is that they send you a notification when someone starts a live, when someone puts a story for the first time, when someone hasn't posted a story in a while. So Instagram is sending the end user so many notifications that says, hey, look at our stories. And I think that not only helps, it definitely helps businesses' social game. I get a notification every time, the teaser goes out, or when SEO goes live, or like my favorite brands or things like that. And businesses are now starting to capitalize off of those stories. So I don't know if Starbucks is doing like Macchiato Mondays in the spring. And so they're posting a story every Monday about a new macchiato. Of course, I would know this, that they're doing. And so like every time Starbucks posts a story, I get a notification. Think of how smart that is for businesses to grow. If you do that and then throw an ad in there, no brainer.
No, that's a great
no-brainer.
example actually with Starbucks. So there's a lot of opportunity here. I think that's pretty obvious. We even plug our little teaser in our story, which is for taking control, which is a great example. But definitely something to pay attention to, as Instagram's obviously putting a lot behind the story aspect. And then shifting within the social media realm to LinkedIn a little bit. So LinkedIn, a little bit of a different advertising platform. If you're going to spend time on LinkedIn, you really have to kind of have a clear objective of what you're looking to accomplish, because we all know that LinkedIn comes partnered with a little bit of a higher ad spend. You're going to spend a little bit more on LinkedIn than you typically would on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. But what LinkedIn is now offering as of this week is video advertising within the platform. So as you're scrolling down the news feed, it doesn't have to be a static image or a graphic of an advertisement anymore. It can actually be a video with a call to action or whatever it might be that's going to autoplay right there in the news feed.
Yeah, and that's groundbreaking for LinkedIn to begin with.
Right.
So before, you couldn't post any sort of video to LinkedIn. The only thing you could do is link. So, you would link a YouTube link and then it would autoplay, which is nice. But I think that alone is the fact that they're giving you the opportunity to not only put organic videos on your page, but video ads. It's finally LinkedIn is stepping out of, the old school
the
social
Stone
media
Age.
and finally competing with the other platforms, because LinkedIn is a great platform to use, especially in our space.
Yeah, no, and you have to think about it think about all software companies, things like that. Like now you have a chance to actually demo the platform or demo the product or whatever it might be, showcase your office or your space, within that autoplay, as opposed to trying to get all of this across in sort of like a graphic that you're hoping people, pay attention to as they scroll. But I think it's
even in the copy. Like if you scroll down on LinkedIn now, you see there's a static image, then there's often a lot of copy.
Right.
I think this is a way for LinkedIn to kind of switch gears and yes, be professional, but be creative, because I'm more likely going to watch something than I'm going to read. Like you have to press see more, you lost people. you know what I mean? Especially on LinkedIn.
Right.
So
and with this sponsored video advertising on LinkedIn, you can actually also post video to your company page now, which is pretty big. LinkedIn is pretty much going on record saying that they realize that video has like 5 times, is 5 times more likely to create conversation or to generate engagement than any other type of content, which is true. What Rachel just mentioned is people would rather watch a video than read a blog post or whatever it might be. So definitely a big step in the right direction, I think, for LinkedIn.
yeah, also finally.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, come on. I love you, but it's time.
So if video advertising is something that you would want to consider on LinkedIn, like we mentioned, really kind of have that clear objective, because you could spend a little bit more on LinkedIn than you typically spend on some of the other social platforms. But also keep in mind that it comes with a lot of benefits too. Like you're able to target people at a specific company, you're able to target people of a specific title, income.
You can get so granular when searching for LinkedIn, whether it's drip campaigns, targeted campaigns, sponsored posts, whatever it may be. Like LinkedIn gives you so many opportunities to go, down to the location, down to the business, down to the company, down to the CEO, just CEOs in general. I think LinkedIn almost takes the cake.
It's super laser focused.
With targeted audiences, yeah. So take advantage of it. But Anthony said was so correct, is you really have to understand what you want to get out of it, your objective, your motive, and what you're hoping to receive on the other end, because you don't want to waste that sort of marketing dollars when you can utilize it so well on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. So definitely something to consider as you're eyeing up all the different social media platforms to advertise on now. I know the list is getting longer and longer and longer. But something to pay attention to. So as we wrap up this week's episode, this has been episode 42 of Taking Control. Rachel, you were great. Thanks for
having me back.
Thanks for coming on. Get your voice better. I will not be here actually next week. I'll be in California for a training course with the company, but there will be some awesome people filling in for my place. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms so you can stay up to date with everything IT and digital marketing, and we will see you guys next Thursday.
Bye.